VR has changed sim racing by making the experience much more immersive. You go from looking at flat screens to actually feeling like you're in the driver's seat. And it adds that sense of realism, allowing you better spatial awareness and situational precision. So let's take a look at this headset. This is the Pimax Crystal Light, and I've had it for a couple of weeks so I can test it out and try out. So what do I think of it? Do I think this is a headset that you should purchase? Do I even think it's worth upgrading from a Quest 3 or from another WMR headset, or even from some of the higher end headsets that are out there? I don't know. Stay tuned and watch out in the video as we take a look at it. The Pimax Crystal Light, it comes in at €769, $799, and that's for without the controllers. But if you want to add the controllers to it, it's going to bump up the price to €859, $899 if you want the controllers. So look at the price, let's move on to the hardware. The hardware in this VR headset is the same exact hardware that you can find in the Pimax Crystal, minus a few additional features. So the lenses are LED backlit with a resolution of 2880 by 2880. Again, the same lenses that come in the normal Crystal headset. It has 35 pixels per degree, that's 10 more than the Quest 3. The lenses, they're glass aspheric that are large and offer a great sweet spot with an excellent edge-to-edge clarity and giving you 130 degrees of FOV while giving you up to 120 Hz refresh rate. It can be moved up to 120, but even with a 4090 that I have, I did find that I had to dial back the graphics a bit. It also features local dimming, which means the headset display can backlight specific areas, meaning the dark areas will be dark, helping improve the contrast and reduce the glare you would see in full backlit displays. And connecting the headset to the PC is super easy. All you need is one display port, one USB slot, and then connect the power to a socket, and they will give you additional power plugs wherever you are in the world so you can connect your headset. Since this is a PC VR headset, they removed the standalone hardware from the Crystal, dropping that weight by 310 grams down to 815 grams. I do have to mention they also did remove the automatic IPD adjustment, and now you just have to use the dial. For me, which is fine because you only have to adjust it once, and again, that helped with the weight drop. It also doesn't feature the eye-tracking dynamic foveated rendering, meaning it's now fixed foveated rendering, which is a shame because this was a feature that I really enjoyed in the Pimax Crystal, but again, that's just part of making this headset more affordable. And when I talk about fixed foveated rendering, it means that the center of the lens will always be sharp, while the outside of the center will lose details, and that's to keep performance up. You can turn this off to get maximum details all around the display, but again, you're going to need a beefy GPU to pull it off without losing a lot of performance. It does have speakers that hover over the ear, and frankly, I don't really think they're anything special. They do the job. I would spend an extra $100 to get the DMAS earphones that are way better quality. On the front, it has 4 external tracking cameras for controller tracking, so you don't need any base stations. And in use, I didn't have any issues with tracking when I'm using them with other games, but you can get the Lighthouse Faceplate Edition, which is sold separately if you want to use a base station with index controllers. And speaking of controllers, they are very standard controllers and they look a lot like the Quest ones, except these are charged via USB-C and last 7 to 8 hours before you need to charge them again. Now let's talk about software. To use the headset, you need to download Pimax Play. For the most part, it's plug and play. And to take full advantage of the headset, you do need other software, but I'm going to get to that in a bit. In Pimax Play, you have a lot of adjustment options, from backlight intensity, refresh rate, and resolution multiplier. You can also save different settings for different titles, which comes in very handy if you're a guy that plays on multiple different sims. But if you want to take full advantage of the headset, there are 2 programs you also need to download and use to take full advantage of the Pimax headset. The first one you need is Pimax OpenXR, and for me this really helped with my game performance. And OpenXR allows you to play Steam VR titles with an OpenXR headset without having to use Steam VR. The next one is OpenXR Toolkit, and this software allows you to customize OpenXR titles, and you can change the rendering, upscaling, sharpening, foveated rendering, post-processing, and more. Now, when you use those two programs, you can really take the Crystal Light to the next level in terms of graphic quality and performance. As I did find out that using Pimax OpenXR and OpenXR Toolkit really help with the performance when I'm playing in the games versus having to use Steam VR. Now, I tried this headset with AMS2, ACC, iRacing, Race Room, and ATS2, and I didn't really encounter any problems with any of them, and once I got all the settings done correctly, and I'm going to make a separate video going through the different settings to really help you understand what they do. I don't know if I'll do a best settings video, and that's because everybody's computer is different and you need to find out what works for you, because my settings might not exactly work for you. In all the titles, I did find the visuals they're crisp and clear, and I gotta say, for me, these were by far the best visuals I've seen in any headset. There was no pixelation, no screen door effect. I didn't notice any ghosting or blurring in any of the titles that I tried, and I can see all the details on the dash dials. I can read all the text in the car and outside on the track, like the brake markers. Everything is just so smooth, detailed, and sharp. I will say though, I did have a harder time setting up ACC for VR and getting everything dialed in properly, but I really think that was down to how VR was implemented in that title and not really a reflection of the headset itself. Now let's talk about comfort. This is a big headset, but with it weighing only 815 grams, in long usage I didn't really feel any fatigue in my neck. The headset is very well balanced and nicely cushioned, and it really helps having a more flexible strap on top to help keep the headset in place. I did feel like the regular foam inserts that the headset comes with is a bit thin, and I could feel the pressure on the bridge of my nose while testing. And I would go ahead and get the optional, or in this case I'd say it's more like mandatory, to get the optional foam inserts to upgrade those and increase those comfort levels. So let's get into my final thoughts on this headset and what my full experience using it was. And I've got to say, Pimax made a killer headset that is perfect for sim racers. And I talked about all the positives throughout my video, from crisp and clear visuals, ease of use, good controller tracking. But there are some negatives I do want to touch upon. Like, for example, the first one is having to use multiple different programs to get the most out of the Pimax Crystal Light. And I do wish in the future Pimax will incorporate what those other programs do into Pimax Play, so I don't have to sit there and use additional programs to get the most out of it. The second one was the comfort levels, and I do wish they included the facial foam comfort kit as standard part of this kit, because after a while with having this headset, I could feel the pressure on my nose, which can become, uncomfortable and can affect my racing if I'm in longer term sessions. And this one, the last one, is not really going to affect sim racers so much because we're sitting in a fixed position for, when we're racing, is the cables. The cables are a little too short if you're wanting to do games other than sim racing like Skyrim VR or Beat Saber or anything like that. The cable itself is about 4.5 meters long. You can get the optional 6-meter cable, but again, if you're going to sit there with the 4.5 cable, you might have to readjust your space to maximize the distance you can move around in your house. So in the end, if you are looking at getting into VR sim racing, or you are a PC VR user yourself and wanted to upgrade from a Quest 3 or a WMR headset, this is the perfect package for sim racers that are out there. And if you guys have any questions about this headset, please let me know in the comments below. And as always, if you enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you know when we have more videos coming out. Until next time, guys, have fun racing. Later.